A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review today. But exactly what book am I going to be talking about? Because the title of the video doesn't really give it away. You know what? I'm going to let this old fucking bastard give you a hint.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life.
That's right. We are going to be talking about the novel Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, who wrote the fantastic Star Wars novel about the Millennium Falcon. This is part of the Star Wars Legends line, meaning that it is no longer canon. After Disney bought Lucasfilm, this book has become obsolete. However, I will let you in on a little secret. It's fucking fantastic. So without further ado, let's get straight into the next episode of... So this book is set approximately 67 years before episode 4, A New Hope. And we open with Darth Plagueis and his master, Darth Tenebrous. Now, for those of you that don't understand Sith philosophy or have never heard of any of this shit before, back thousands of years in the past, Darth Bane set this precedent where there would only be two Sith, a master and an apprentice. So Darth Tenebrous and Darth Plagueis are on a planet. They get into a situation and Darth Plagueis realizes this is the perfect time to kill the master, and he ends up making sure that Darth Tenebrous is dead. He escapes from the planet and ultimately goes on to meet a young student, I guess you would say, a student of politics from Naboo, who goes by the name of Palpatine. Oh, now you're all cottoning on. He takes Palpatine under his wing after Palpatine realizes that he is Force sensitive and ends up killing all of his family, and goes on to kind of mold and shape this young senator from Naboo, I guess, teaching him the ways of the Force, and so to speak. Now, what's interesting about this is that Darth Plagueis is from, or he is, now I don't know how to correctly pronounce the name of the race because I always pronounce it Moon. It's M-U-U-N. I call it Moon, but in the Clone Wars television show, I've heard it pronounced as Mune. I'm just going to say he's a Moon. And if anyone is familiar with the Star Wars canon of the extended universe, then you will actually know that Palpatine was kind of anti-alien, I guess you would say, in the best possible sense of the word. But whatever. It doesn't matter. So Darth Plagueis takes Palpatine under his wing. Palpatine becomes Darth Sidious. And a lot of this book is actually fucking politics, believe it or not. But it's important in so much as it crosses over with the films. So we have 3 parts to the story. The first part is Darth Plagueis killing his master and taking Palpatine under his wing. The second part is Palpatine kind of growing in his Force powers while Darth Plagueis is trying to work out how to cheat death. That's Darth Plagueis's main goal, is how to cheat death and discover kind of powers to prolong his life. It's in part 2 that we get the first instance of Palpatine, or Darth Sidious, being presented with a child, a baby born on Dathomir, a Zabrak, who will go on to become Darth Maul. And what does Palpatine do with this child, and so on and so forth. At this point in the story, there's an assassination attempt on Darth Plagueis, which almost succeeds and forces him to create, because we find out that Darth Plagueis is all into experimentation and things like that, but Darth Plagueis creates a respirator system, very similar to the one that is given to Anakin Skywalker at the end of Revenge of the Sith to make him become Vader, which I thought was a really cool kind of tie-in to the movies. In the third part of the novel, we find that Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious have been concocting a scheme to get the Trade Federation to put the blockade on Naboo, which a lot of you will know is the beginning of The Phantom Menace. And we get the kind of inner workings of the relationship between Palpatine and Newt Gunray, the Neimoidian, who is now the head of the Trade Federation, through the machinations of Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious. The novel ends where kind of Phantom Menace begins, which is really interesting, maybe even into the Attack of the Clones. Really interesting because you get a whole lot of backstory on Master Cypher Dyas going to Kamino to get the clone army made. You get the disillusion of Count Dooku with the Jedi Order, and how Darth Plagueis kind of slowly turns him to the dark side. It's an absolutely phenomenal read. I mean, just look at the cover and the back. Kind of gives you an idea of what is going on. It's such a great insight into a character that was just given like a one scene discussion in Revenge of the Sith, and one of the best Star Wars novels out there, even though it's not canon anymore. My major complaint with this is it still talks about midi-chlorians, which those of you that know The Phantom Menace know that that is the fucking stupidest shit, that the Force is bacteria in the body or some fucking crap. I don't buy that crap. But Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, an absolutely phenomenal read, a fantastic book, a great insight not only into the character of Darth Plagueis, but the rise of Palpatine, which is really the story here, is the rise of Palpatine. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They touch upon a lot of Star Wars history, especially Sith Lord history, which, if you're interested in that, check this book out. So, yeah, apparently Newsday says the best Star Wars publication to date. This was written a few years back. There have been other Star Wars publications, so I don't know about that, but a really fantastic Star Wars novel, focusing primarily on the Sith. You do get to read about characters like Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Count Dooku, Master Sifo-Dyas, that you all recognize from the movies. So, well worth your time and effort if you are a Star Wars fan. That is Darth Plagueis. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or click the notification bell, and whenever I make another video, which will probably be soon, you'll get a ding. Until then, everybody, stay safe, have a fantastic rest of your day, but most importantly, read a fucking book, people.